Hey guys, Matthew here, and today I'm bringing you episode number 3 of the Abusing Harvest series, and we'll be looking at how to make bleed bows for much cheaper than what they're being sold on the market. So, we're not going to be looking at perfect bows or anything close to that. Unfortunately, a perfect bow would have this mod here, which is damage over time multiplier, and this does not have a tag. Therefore, working around it is actually pretty difficult. It's not like there's no actual method. It's just that that kind of method would not be something I'd make a video about because 99.5% of the population wouldn't be able to afford it. So instead, I'm going to be focused on these bleed bows that are more affordable. Now, this might not look affordable, but once I show you guys how it's crafted and how it's actually made, you'll see that the actual price is not that bad. So these bows go for about 35 to 40x. This 25x one is a little bit cheap. Actually, I should probably just buy it and flip it because honestly, 25x for this is too cheap, at least for what they're going for on the market. But going back to the method. So I posted a method yesterday on YouTube comment section and or on my YouTube community feed, and it was honestly just wrong. It was actually right, but for the wrong league. So I hadn't considered the fact that, there was the whole influence modifier stuff, which is available this league. So the method that I posted yesterday would be how I would craft a bleed bow going forward in any other league, but given this league and harvest and the seed crafting, I would say that that method is actually suboptimal compared to what you can actually do instead. Especially if you're going for these kind of bows and not like the GG, mirror tier kind of bows. So if you're trying to make just a good bow with about 430, 440 DPS, nothing special but fairly cheap, this video is going to be perfect for you because this is the kind of bow that we're aiming for here. So first off, you'll want to acquire an item level 83 Elder Citadel bow. That goes for about 20 chaos. As you can see here, it's very cheap. There's nothing crazy there. They're super common. And then you're going to want to use some perfect fossils to get it to about 28% quality. Perfect fossils can be acquired for about 12 to 13 for an X. And on average, it's going to take you 15 to get a perfect roll, or 15 or 16 to get a perfect roll of 30% quality, but you really don't need 30%. Honestly, anything around 28%, I would personally keep. I think that's good enough. Then you'll want to craft 15 to 18% quality on it, which will bring it up to 44 and above. Because if I take a bow here and I try to craft quality on it, you'll see that the craft is only for chaos, and that 15 to 18% quality helps a fair bit when it comes to trying to link it later on. So, which is why we're quite interested in getting as much quality as possible, which is why we perfect fossil it. Now, what you could do instead of going through all of this is to simply buy one that is already 6 linked. Buying a bow that's already 6 linked, that is Elder, will net you about 3.5 to 4x. Sometimes people will sell them because they're like trying to craft them and they get bored. Or they get annoyed, so they sell it for cheap. So personally, I got one this morning that already had 28% quality, and it was only 3x 6 linked. So you'll be able to get them anywhere from 3 to 4x. Already 6 linked Elder Citadel bow, item level 83. Sometimes they'll even have quality on them, which is nice. So that's going to cost you about 3 to 4x, no matter if you buy it or if you link it yourself. It depends how lucky or unlucky you are, but I just put in the average for 3 to 4x for this. So then you're going to want to alteration spam for flaring. So flaring is T1 flat physical damage. As you can see on an Elder bow, it is going to take you about 420 alterations to see flaring, which is not that bad considering the price of alterations right now. You'll be able to basically do that twice in one exalt worth of alterations, because you can get about 18 to 900 alterations for an X right now. 8 to 900 alterations for an X, so about half an X to actually get your flaring mod. Once you do hit flaring, you'll want to augment a suffix. It doesn't matter what it is, you need a suffix. Then you're going to want to regal a suffix also. So if you regal a prefix, you're going to want to use a Ferric Lynx Alpha, which is a beast that removes a prefix and adds a random suffix. So you'll have a 50-50 to hit the flaring mod or the random prefix if you didn't regal a suffix, that is. If you hit flaring, unfortunately you have to restart, so scour the bow, go ahead and alt spam for flaring again, augment again, regal again. It should take about 2 tries, obviously, because there's 2 prefixes and each time you're removing one, so it's an average of 2 tries to get it to where you have only flaring as your only prefix and then 2 suffixes. After that, you'll craft a third suffix. It doesn't matter what it is, you just got to craft a third suffix. The reason for that is that when you go to augment a modifier that is influenced, it does respect the influence tag that your bow has. For example, if we're using an elder bow, it's going to respect the fact that elder mods are these in this pool. Thing is, if you look at the suffixes here, you'll see that the weighting is a hell of a lot more than the weighting of the prefixes. So what does that mean? That means that if we augment a role, or sorry, if we augment a modifier that is elder and we have an open suffix, there's almost 100% chance that we're actually going to get a suffix, and we don't want that to happen, which is why once we regal, we got to get rid of that prefix, and we have to get 3 suffixes before we augment. So once you've done that, once you've crafted your suffix, you're going to use augment an item with a new influence modifier. These sell for about 2 to 3x. I've been getting them for 2x. People have been selling them for 2x all day long. So that's going to be about 2x to get an augment a new influence modifier. And if you look at the weighting for the prefixes on an elder bow, it's about a 1 in 3 chance. Actually, it's a little bit more than 1 in 3 chance to get bleeding on the augment. If you don't get bleeding on the augment, that's not too big of a deal. You can always use remove and re-add a new influence modifier. These go for about 2 to 3x each, and on average you're going to need 2 of them, because obviously you get one on the augment and then you reroll it twice, meaning you've gone through the whole 1 in 3 already. So on average, it should take 1 augment and 2 rerolls to get to the bleed mod. Of course, sometimes you might get unlucky; it might take 5, and you might get lucky and get it on the first augment. Who knows? But the average is going to be 1 augment and 2 rerolls. Hence why I put the price tag here: 2x for the augment and 4x for the 2 rerolls. Once you have that, you're gonna have basically at that point you would have a bow with the bleed mod and flaring. Nothing else, just some bad suffixes. So what you're going to do is you're going to craft prefixes cannot be changed, which is why it's very important to have an open suffix, and why we actually alt spam instead of spamming jagged fossils, which I would do in any other league, but because this is Harvest, it's actually more efficient to alt spam. We craft prefixes cannot be changed, and we're going to scour it. And then we're going to multi-mod percent physical damage, which is a 1 exalt craft, followed by attack speed and quality, which is a 1 divine craft, and obviously multi-mod, which is a 2 exalt craft, which is a 3x and 1 divine total cost. So the total cost for this bow is 16 exalts. That's it. The base is 4x, which is, as I said, for a 6-link base. The alt spam is 1 exalt because you have to hit it twice on average, flaring. Because one time you're probably going to fuck it up with the Ferric Lynx Alpha, but the other time you're actually going to succeed. Then you got to augment the influence, reroll it twice, so 6x there. Craft, prefixes cannot be changed, 2x, multi-mod 3x plus 1 divine. So the total cost on average is going to cost you, or net you, about 16x. That being said, the value, as I said, is about 35 to 40, meaning you are more than doubling your money if the market stays as ridiculous in terms of prices as it has been for pretty much the entire league. And as you can see, if I look at 430 DPS bleeding bows, there is only 7 on the market currently. So I guess nobody actually knows how to craft these properly. So hopefully this video helps you guys understand how to make some pretty good profit there. Now I expect this market to be dead within a few days, if most, or even if just even a handful of you guys who watch this video start doing it for profit. But that's perfectly fine. I think paying these ridiculous prices is absolutely crazy, considering how easy it is to actually make them, and there's no real RNG involved, because you're not having to annul anything or anything like that. You're not having to take these risky exalt slams or anything. Realistically, you're just working 1 mod at a time, and you only care about 2 mods. Now again, this is not a mirror tier bow, it's just a very solid bow, which in any other league would have sold for like 40-50x. And I would have said that's a proper price because they're very hard to make. But this league, they're insanely easy to make due to the fact that we can just reroll the reroll the influence modifier, and it's literally a 1 in 3. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. That's about it. all I had to say when it came to Bleed Bows. Before I go though, I want to say a huge thank you to my supporters. As always, Guy Kona, Kfish, Zachary Luro, Scott, Dr. Radu, Casicus Francesco, Amazo, Skorov, Mr. Coffee, and Mario, and anybody else who wishes to remain anonymous, and of course, all you beautiful people who support me through different platforms as well. Hopefully you learned a little something, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.